If you sit next to a high performer, so if you have your team sit next to a high performer, you will outperform by 15%. High performer just in your proximity will increase your performance by 15%. If you sit next to a low performer or underperformer, it will decrease your productivity by 30%. So every B player you bring on board is not just decreasing their productivity by 30%. It is that energy transfer, which is that everybody around them becomes a little bit less productive.
That's something that we've talked about several times in the inverse, which is, surround yourself with people that are traveling and living in the space that you want to be in. If you want to be a high performer in sales, go and network and be in verse with those that are in that bracket, whether it's their performance bracket, whether it's income bracket, impact bracket, which is something that we don't talk about a lot in society. Yes, because the inverse works. Those that are negative, those goofing off, those that are unproductive, those that space out will affect the ones that are around. A wise man once told me, he said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah, I think like when we have a big goal for ourselves, what we're trying to accomplish in our life, we then got to do an assessment on the people around us, and we got to ask ourselves, is this person an asset towards my goal or a liability? Because the people that we have around us are going to there's no neutral relationship. It's either in a positive or a negative direction. It's not neutral.
Woo. So that's good, bro. There's no neutral relationship.
And even if something is not costing you money, time is more valuable than money.
Oh yeah. That's my mantra. Like I subscribe to that 110 times every day. Time is our most precious commodity.
You have to be, the more resolute you are about your goal, it's going to be easier, because sometimes it's difficult to cut ties on different relationships depending on the history. But you got to ask yourself too, how valuable am I to that relationship if I don't hit that goal?
I 100% agree. And for those that are making those hiring decisions, I have seen and been part of reassigning where people sit just solely based off that. If you're leading a team and you have no hiring and firing power, you're just there to lead the team, but you control where they sit, and you have a team of 10, but you got 3 high performers, you got to strategically place your high performers.
I mean, even beyond just team, I know there's even solopreneurs. If you're a solopreneur, that's when you got to find a coach, but not just any coach. You got to find the right coach, right? The one that's actually going to get you where you're trying to go. And that means assessing different people and seeing, okay, can this person actually help me accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish or solve my problem?
Yeah.
And if they don't, and just because they have a good webinar and they have a good landing page, that doesn't mean that they're worth $20,000. And some of those guys, that might be down the road, but right now, what can solve my problem right now? What's going to get me a little bit closer right now? It might be a little bit less money to get you to the next phase, but you got to assess that. You got to just assess the people that you're around, even if it's not professional relationships, personal relationships, because in business, in personal and professional, they get all mixed up. It's hard to separate personal and professional in business.
Yeah.
It's easy to if you have a job, because you can leave everything there. You can't leave everything when you're running your own stuff.
Yeah, when you're launching a business, you're launching an entrepreneurial space. You have to cultivate relationships, and those relationships are where the gold is buried. So you have to be mindful of what relationships are you cultivating and how are you adding value to the relationship. Because if you're coming to someone that's adding value to you, you got to say, okay, what value would I bring to them? I know they can bring value to me, but what value am I bringing to them?
And finding people who are productive. Finding people who are productive. Finding people who are productive. Let me drop this verse on you before we go. When Jesus went after the disciples, what were the disciples doing?
Well, he preaching. They were working, bruh.
They were working. They were not sitting around waiting to get found. You gotta be working. You gotta be doing something. Minding your own business. Not everybody else is. Why are you on social media worrying about what she's doing or he's doing? How much does me looking at other people and what they're doing has zero effect on my bank account at all? What people say about me. We were just talking about Russell Wilson. Those people booing him when he's going on there. Do you think those boos impact his bank account? He's just like, I already got paid.
I'm doing this for the love. I'm doing this for
And
the
I
love.
go home. And I go home to Sierra. Why worry about what y'all saying?
Bruh.
Oh, you worrying about what people are saying about you. Like, bro, who cares? Who cares? Find some business and mind it.
Yeah, it's always, I always find it weird when people stop and leave like a paragraph, 2 paragraphs of a negative comment on somebody's post. And I'm like,
You had that much time.
I don't read them. I just see negative. All right, I'm off. I'm like, man, you spend a lot of time on that, but didn't you, buddy?
Mind blowing. But yo, man, seriously, get productive yourself and then find other people who are acting like you,
Yeah.
who don't have time. I just can't deal with it. How do you have so much time? How do you have so much? I barely have time to record this.
We had to switch our schedule up. Yeah.
Listen, find people who are productive. If you're productive, just write in the comment section, productive. Productive. Do something that's going to get you towards your goal, man or woman, and mind your business. All of these people you're looking at on social media are not thinking about you.
Yeah, then
And all that energy you spending on that, you're not going to reach your goal.
you're not gonna be able to do it. You're not.
You gotta be like, you have to know what you're doing. Stop living for other people, man. Other people are living for themselves. Live for yourself. Find out what you only have one life, and you're over here wasting it. Find eagles. Stop dealing with buzzards, man.
Hey, preacher! Somebody get this man a pulpit. I would jump on the organ, but it's not here.
Listen, the more time you spend around with folks who ain't doing nothing, and they're happy not doing nothing, you just wasting yourself. All right, I'm off this. I gotta go mind my business. And I'll see y'all later.
Peace.